testing the super zoom at the beach. I'm going to zoom right in on this jet skier and these paddle boarders. Hello folks, welcome to Netcruzer Tech. Today I want to talk to you about this guy, which is the Nikon A900. So the Nikon Coolpix A900 is what I would consider to be a compact travel zoom because it has a massive 35 times optical zoom on it, and it has a nice Nikkor lens. Now this is not a new model. This has been on the market for approximately 4 or 5 years, and it has since currently been replaced with the A1000. The problem with the A1000 though is that you lose the selfie screen. Now I did pick this up on OpenBox Demo, so the camera that I'll be showing you is an OpenBox Demo unit, but that is a great way to find deals. If you're looking for a particular camera and you see the shop is clearing it out, that typically means that a new model is coming to replace it. And if you already know that the feature set in the old camera is one that you want, it's worthwhile picking it up, because I ended up getting this for half the price of new retail. So this camera does shoot in 1080p 60 frames a second as well as in 4K Ultra HD. Now the camera itself is actually a pretty nice metallic build quality. It has a tripod jack on the bottom, which is very offset, so it's way over here on this side. So when you do have a tripod attached, it looks a little bit weird because your tripod is coming off of this point. But the nice thing about that is that it keeps it well away from the battery door and SD card. So your SD card goes in here, your battery goes in here, and the battery is a 1050 milliamp hour battery. This camera does recharge over USB, and it uses a micro USB slot, as well as you have a micro HDMI out. For data transfer, you can use the USB, or you can use NFC for wireless, as well as Bluetooth and Wi-Fi wireless video transfer. As for modes, this camera does have quite a few modes. It would be considered a very nice automatic mode camera, so most of the time I leave it in the AI, the green mode most of the time, as I shoot a lot of video. But if you do want to use manual photo control, you do have your typical PASM. This one here is for special movie modes like clip selection or time lapse, as well as there is a scene mode and there's portrait modes. There is a pop-up flash, which can use a kicker style off the ceiling design, although I never do use the flash because I use video most of the time. The screen is a very nice selfie screen. It's a flip up selfie style screen, but also it has a very nice hinge on it that can lay flat or do a full 90 degrees down view, which a lot of them can't do. Most of the cameras lock at this type of a position, and this one allows the hinge to lie flat, which I do like, as well as it allows you to do something like this for a tabletop shoot. As for control modes, you do have your record button here on the back. This is a focus assist where it zooms in for you and allows you to check your focus. The ring does rotate, and that is a functional ring, as well as you have a functional ring up here. And you have your left-right D-pad. So this one does flash control, this one does your exposure, this one is macro mode, and this one is set your time intervals for either continuous shooting or countdown timer shooting. One of the things that I don't like about this is that the on-off button is just a very quick single press. So sometimes when you put it in your bag, you can inadvertently turn it on. And as you can see, since it is a super zoom, the lens sticks out a lot, even just during first power on. And when you zoom out, that's full, this is full 35 times zoom. So that is an impressive zoom ability on these things. That's why these things are so nice, is because they are pocketable and they give you a massive zoom range. The menu interface itself, it is not a touchscreen, however. This device does not have a touchscreen, so you do have to manually configure everything through the D-pad buttons. One of the things they did add in the A1000, I believe, was a touchscreen, and they added an electronic viewfinder, but they removed the ability to have selfie mode. But the video output of this device is that even though it does have stereo microphones, they're placed very close together, and so my little wind muff just goes over this one spot, and that was enough to cover both microphones. Here's your two microphones. They're right in between the AF assist lamp, which on most cameras I turn the AF assist off because I never really want that used. But here's your left and here's your right microphones on the camera, and stereo separation is almost non-existent. I have some clips of where I was using it, and even with a vehicle going from left to right in the frame, you get almost no Doppler effect of the sound passing. So that's unfortunate. So in the menu options, you have your image quality, you have movie options, 1080p 60. I can show you here all the movie options that you have. You do have 4K 30p, 1080p 30p, 1080p 60, 720, and then there is the high frame rate modes where you can get up to 120 frames a second, but that's only in 480p, so that's pretty useless. For the most of the point, I keep it in 1080p 60, but I will show you some clips of using it in 4K as well. Autofocus mode, there are a couple of autofocuses. You can have single point autofocus or full-time autofocus. Something I have noticed with this is that as soon as I touch the zoom slider when recording, it loses focus pretty bad, and it takes a second for it to come back. This is not a high-end camera. It does not have a big sensor, and because of that, it does have some limitations in that its focus ability is very limited, and it uses contrast-based autofocus. Now, this lens also does have VR, vibration reduction, and that is a setting in the camera where you can have it be on, hybrid, on, or off. Now, I have noticed when the hybrid-based autofocus is enabled that it does almost like an in-body warp stabilization, and it can make the footage look a little weird, and it does reduce quality. So sometimes you just want to have it on just normal vibration reduction instead of on hybrid. And then for Wi-Fi control, you do have the ability to register this with your smart device so that every time you take a picture, it'll Bluetooth low energy transfer it to your phone, and they call that SnapBridge. And then there's settings such as turning the beeps on and off, how long you want the screen to turn on for, if you want to format your memory and all that stuff. All right, I think that's about it. All I want to talk to you about the hardware of this thing. Now let me show you how when I took it to the beach and when I used it for the first time. Hello folks, welcome to Netcruzer Tech. I'm here at my local beach. This is the beach closest to my house, and first time I've actually ever been here. I've lived here for 10 years and I've never come to this beach. How crazy is that? Anyway, wanted to test this new camera. It's a compact super zoom. Got a good mix of features. I'm currently recording at 1080p, but this camera does do 4K, which I'll show you later, and has an excellent zoom range. So it has a up to 35 times optical zoom. Now, I've had super zooms in the past with Sony's. This is the first Nikon I've ever tested, and the only modification I've done to it is I did add a little stick-on windsock over the two microphones, and really we're just testing the quality of this today at the beach. How good the focus is, how good the optical image stabilization is, along with hybrid stabilization when you're in 1080p mode, and just the extreme range of the optical lens. Testing the super zoom at the beach. I'm going to zoom right in on this jet skier and these paddle boarders. Let's see how close we can get to him and track him as he moves along. I think he got distracted by the paddle boarder. What is this? Okay, we're going to do a maximum zoom test here. I'm going to try and zoom in way up there on that little peninsula area. So here we go, zooming in. Let's see how far we can get. That's the limit of optical zoom. Now we're going to crop in digitally. Oh, you got to be really steady. It's super windy. All right, that's at 1080p. So that's at 1080p. Now I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to try this again at 4K, and we're going to see what's the stabilization like, because I'm not sure that the hybrid stabilization is all that great on this. Okay, now we're doing the same test, recording now at 4K. I'm going to continue to zoom in back in on that house. So that's the limit of optical. And now we're into digital. And that's optical stabilization. So they're jittery either way. Jittery either way. Look at that. That's friggin' awesome. I love compact super zooms. They're so nice. This is how far away I am. I'm way back here. There's the people at the beach. So you do have to refocus a bit. So if I'm zoomed all the way out, I'll do a half press and then you get a refocus, because this does use a contrast-based autofocus system. So if I zoom right in on the people lying, it does a pretty good job. I have not touched the camera. That's just fully automatic. Now if I zoom all the way in on these people partying here on this yacht, that's also fully automatic. I have not refocused. Now I'm going to half press and you get a bit better focus lock on them. This is Petrie Island actually, and it's got a lot of little features. So you've got a little sitting area up here. There's a change room and a restaurant area up over there that we'll go explore later. A couple of designated swim areas with lifeguards, and right on the Ottawa River, I believe. So there's lots of boats zipping around. Oh, the water's still pretty cold. One of the features I actually love about this camera is you have the ability to pause the recording instead of stopping and starting a new clip every time. You can do almost some in-camera editing by pressing the right side of the D-pad. You can then pause the recording and then show up in a totally different area, and you can zip around like that. So you can do jump cuts in camera, which I think is a really cool feature. Thanks, Nikon. And then there's this other whole side of the beach too. This is a pretty cool spot actually. Why have I never come here before? And it only costs $2 to park for up to 5 hours of parking. That's crazy. So yeah, I think I'm going to be coming here a bit more often. And then this looks like the change room area and maybe the bathrooms. Is this building up over here? What's going on? Why is there a dance party happening? Dance in line. What you can do with the super zoom. I'm miles away from them. I feel like I'm over a kilometer away from these guys. Look at, there's a big party happening over there. Zoom out. Yeah, super zoom. Convoy of boats coming in. Oh, I must say that this camera boots up fast too. That was about 1 to 2 seconds from when I hit the on button to recording. Less than that probably. Squad goals. Look at, there's more. Cool. Super zoom. This lens is the equivalent of a up to 151mm at full zoom, and it does a f3.4 to 6.9. This is a Nikkor 35 times wide optical zoom with vibration reduction. Alright guys, so that's the Nikon A900. I have used it a couple times. There's one thing that I don't like about it, which is that as soon as you touch the zoom slider, it does reduce the focus ability quite a bit. It goes into a very soft focus. I wish that it would go to an infinity focus as soon as you're trying to adjust the zoom range. And the other thing that I don't like is the stereo separation on the microphones. It's pretty bad. It's basically, you might as well just have a mono mic because there is no stereo effect in this recording. If you're able to find this on an excellent clearance price and you want a pocketable travel zoom camera that has selfie ability, that gives you pretty decent quality, and the big benefit of these is the massive reach of that zoom lens. You cannot beat that when it comes to something you can put in your pocket for when you're traveling to get shots of stuff far away. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you're new in here, subscribe. If you want to talk to me, leave a comment down below. As always, thanks for watching. What are you doing, Willow? Willow, we're recording in 4K, 30 frames a second. It's got pretty good focal. Oh, look at the zoom in on that. And refocus, does it? Ooh. Willow! Good. Whoa. Hi, good. You coming? Wow. Super zoom in 4K. It's going to be pretty good.